today that you forgot Araya was in the car by the time you got to the intersection of where Burger King is and also at Stacy's house, correct?
Yes, sir.
So it would be fair to say that at that moment you have failed in your duties as a caregiver, correct?
I did not hear her. She didn't make a sound, so I didn't know I forgot she was in the car. I didn't hear her.
Ms. Jewell, that isn't my question.
Okay,
my
I'm
question
sorry.
is, would you agree, isn't it true? You're saying you forgot she was in a car. You failed as a nanny, as a babysitter, as a caregiver. You're saying you forgot about the baby.
Yes, sir.
So you failed in your duties, correct?
Yes, sir.
You get to Stacy's house and you get out of the car, correct?
Yes, sir.
You had your cell phone in your hand, a bag of chips, a can of chicken, and I think your water bottle or a cup of water, whatever it was, correct?
Yes, sir.
You didn't forget to take those things out of the car, correct?
Correct. It was sitting in front of me. Yes, sir.
You could have put Araya's blanket in front of you if you wanted to, but you didn't do that. That was your choice, correct?
No, sir. I didn't put her blanket in the car.
Was the blanket in the car?
It was, yes, sir. It was on, I guess it was in her bag or.
But you could have put it in the front. You could have put the whole baby bag in the front seat if you wanted to, but you didn't. Correct?
I did not.
So your testimony today is you got up in the morning, you drove to Brooke's house and Justice's house, picked up the baby, and in approximately 15 minutes, you just forgot the baby was in the car, even though that was your job, correct?
Yes, sir. I forgot.
When you went into Stacy's house, you have to agree, isn't it true, you never got Araya out of the car.
No, sir. I did not.
You didn't get the baby bag out of the car either.
No, sir.
You get to Stacy's house, and at 8:17, you've seen the text. You send a text to at 8:17. The text from you to Brooke is just left. Shocker, with a emoji, a happy face emoji. You remember that?
Yes, sir.
So you sent Brooke a text at 8:17. Miss Jewell, you're saying that you forgot Araya's in the car. But at 8:17, you're texting her mom. There's no reason for you to even be texting Brooke unless you have her child. You're texting her at 8:17 in the morning, letting her know Stacy's left.
This was normal for us to text every day.
You're texting Araya's mom at 8:17.
Yes, sir.
You'd have to agree there's no reason to text her. The only reason is,
Objection, Your Honor. Asked and answered.
Overruled. Cross-exam.
the only reason to text her is to let her know Stacy has left the house and you have Araya. Isn't that correct?
Yes, sir, but it stems from a conversation we had the day before about how Miss Pascal would come and, you know, she would come and then she would leave when I got there. She would leave late. She would come late. She would leave late. That's what that was about.
Miss Jewell, you are having contact with Araya's mom at 8:17. Araya is still in the car. And you're saying today that never rang a bell?
No, sir,
That,
it did
oh,
not.
the baby's in the car.
No, sir, it did
Even though
not.
you're communicating with the baby's mom.
No, sir, because that was normal for us to talk every day.
Okay. So let's go to 8:32. 8:32, you have another text communication with Brooke, Araya's mom. Once again, you're having communication with Araya's mom. And you're saying today that still, at that moment, even though you're talking to the baby's mom, It never dawned on you, oh geez, the baby is still in the car.
No, sir, I did not. I forgot that I had her. I forgot she was with me.
Let's go to 11:25.
Yes, sir.
At 11:25, you have a communication with Nevaeh Carter. This is Araya's aunt,
Yes.
the 18-year-old girl that took the stand yesterday. And you respond in some Snapchat, responding to some picture she posted where you say, I think it was, hey cuties, Rhonda loves you.
Yes, sir.
Once again, you're having communication with Araya, the baby, with her aunt, Nevaeh.
Yes.
And you're testifying today that now for the third time, you're having communication with someone related to Araya, and it never dawned on you that Araya is in the car.
No, sir, it never did.
On July 19th, 2023, you left Araya in the car for over 5 hours, correct?
Yes, sir.
You never, ever fed her on that day, correct?
Yes, sir.
You never made a bottle for her, correct?
Correct.
Never changed her diaper, correct? Never changed her clothes, correct?
Yes, sir.
Isn't it true that you never used baby wipes or baby lotion or anything like that for her at all? Would that be accurate?
Yes, sir.
You never did anything that would be necessary for a babysitter or a caregiver to make sure that a 10-month-old baby would be safe. Isn't that accurate?
Yes, sir.
So you failed in your duty of care towards Araya, this 10-month-old child, correct?
Yes, sir.
You admit that.
Because I forgot I had her. Yes, sir.
But you failed in your duty.
Yes, sir.
You had mentioned, I think a little while earlier, that Araya at that age could crawl a little bit. I think you'd have to admit Araya was incapable of unbuckling herself from the car seat or opening a car door at that age. Would that be accurate?
Yes, sir.
On July 19th, Ms. Jewell, when this occurred, isn't it true that you never answered the door when Brooke knocked on it, the front door?
Yes, sir.
You never answered the door when she rang the doorbell, correct?
Right.
Isn't it also true that Brooke would normally, as she testified, she'd come to the front door to pick up Araya?
Yes, sir.
And when she finally called you, you said, what door are you at? Correct?
Yes, sir.
On that day, Miss Jewell, were you drinking?
No, sir.
Were you on any kind of drugs or narcotics?
No, sir.
You mentioned you had like a shoulder pain or something. You weren't taking anything for that.
If I took anything, it was Tylenol or ibuprofen.
You mentioned to Investigator Dougherty when you were being interviewed about your child going to college, about going to England. You were focused on that day.
I had a lot of things going on.
But your responsibility was to care for Araya. You didn't do that. Isn't it true?
Yes, sir.
And that was your decision to watch her. You agreed to do that.
Yes, sir.
Miss Jewell, on July 19th, you remember getting up. You
Yes.
remember picking up Araya. You remember trying to go to Burger King, and you remember going to Stacy's house. You remember making text messages twice to Brooke. You remember a Snapchat response to Nevaeh. You remember all that, but you don't remember Araya.
No, sir.
Even though that was your job.
Yes, sir, it was my job.
Would you agree that on July 19th, for those 5 hours, it was your responsibility to care for Araya? Is that a yes?
Yes, sir.
And you would agree that under your watch, Araya died? Is that true?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I have one moment, Your Honor.
Yes.
Miss Jewell, when you would care for Araya, you'd have to change her diaper.
Yes, sir.
But on that day, you didn't.
No, sir.
Judge, these have been asked 3 or 4 times already of the witness.
Sustained.
Isn't it true on that day of July 19th, you helped take the dog out or take the dog back in because the dog was outside and it was hot outside?
No, sir. I wasn't in charge of the dog. That was